In Prince Harry and Meghan Markle news, Prince Harry's admission records to the United States may be exposed, as there is a lawsuit over how he became part of our United States and when he immigrated here through customs and looking at his visa. So maybe Prince Harry did a bad, and there is an attempt to expose the records from the US government to see if perhaps the US government knows some things that perhaps they're sitting on, perhaps in an effort to try to shield the royal family from some embarrassment. So let's see what's going on with this lawsuit as it relates to the royal couple. Let's get started with this. The Heritage Foundation is taking the federal government in court in an effort to get records related to Prince Harry's visa application released, questioning whether the Department of Homeland Security acted properly after he admitted that he had used drugs on both US and foreign soil. So, of course, you want to come to the United States, you need permission from the United States. We're going to ask you some questions. Some of those questions might concern your drug use. And if you're doing drugs, perhaps we won't let you into the United States or we'll kick you out of the United States. So we can't help noticing that you admitted to the drug use. We can't help noticing that this would perhaps be normal grounds to not let someone in or expel them. And we can't help noticing he's still here. So what's up with that? We'd like to see the records. The Heritage Foundation and Department of Homeland Security will appear in federal court over the Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, FOIA, to force the release of the records, given widespread interest on specific issue of whether Department of Homeland Security acted and is acting in a way that shows appropriate equal treatment under the law. Of course, so far, Department of Homeland Security over here has declined to release the records. But do they have a valid basis to decline to release them? Unclear. In the complaint, of course, Heritage Foundation is seeking to compel the FOIA and to see information relating to DH's decision to both admit him and allow him to be here. Did you make the right decision in letting him come? Did you make the right decision in letting him be here? Has he broken the law? What's up with that? Widespread and continuous media coverage has surfaced over the question of whether the Department of Homeland Security properly admitted the prince in light of the fact that he publicly admitted to essential elements of drug offenses in both the United States and abroad. United States law generally renders a person inadmissible for entry into the United States under these circumstances. Intense media coverage has also surfaced as to whether they may have improperly granted the prince a waiver to enter the country on a non-immigrant visa, given the histories of admissions to essential elements. So, did you follow the law, Department of Homeland Security, when it came to this, or are you treating the specials special? We'd like to know more. In his memoir called Spare, Harry wrote, "Of course, I've been taking cocaine at the time. At someone's house during a hunting weekend, I was offered a line, and since then, I've consumed more." He's also recalled taking magic mushrooms at Courtney Cox's home in Los Angeles. "We spotted a huge box of Black Diamond mushroom chocolates," he wrote. "Someone behind me said they were for everyone. Help yourself, boys. My maid and I grabbed several, gobbled them, washed them down with tequila, and later recalled hallucinating in the bedroom." The federal government, in response to the lawsuit, questioned the merits and suggested the plaintiffs had not demonstrated harm in seeking an injunction. So the injunction issue, maybe not. Maybe they don't have standing for that, but they do potentially have standing on the FOIA. So can we force the US government's hand when it comes to the immigration? Probably not. Can we force discovery of the records? A different issue. US Customs and Border Protection initially denied the request for records because they did not provide written authorization indicating consent for them to be released. So we're trying to claim Privacy Act over here, basically. So that's what we're trying to hide behind, all right. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan over here moved to California in 2020 and also announced they would step down from the role as senior royals, whatever the hell that means. The hearing related to the FOIA will be heard before the courts in Washington, D.C. Thus, that brings us to the end of the case dealing with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry as it relates to admission records to the United States. Prince Harry is admitted to doing drugs, both here and abroad. That would seem to potentially exclude him under relevant U.S. law from the jurisdiction of the United States because of the drug use, both here and abroad. And, Department of Homeland Security, we can't help noticing that he's still here. So what's up with that? we'd like to get access to the records. We'd also like to get an injunction, which we're totally not going to get, relating to like kick him out of the country. We can't force Department of Homeland Security's hand because we don't have standing, but the records maybe we can get. So how that relates to privacy issues, Privacy Act, FOIA, and all the rest of it, I don't know. But a DC court is going to hear all that. And that, for the moment, brings us to the end of discussion of this story.